sorry, say before we get too far off the topic, I think there's some good comments that have been made that we should call out.
Sure.
Just I know we do a chat break later, but I think we might go kind of all over the place with this one after. Um, so Coagular on Twitch said, "So there's no such thing as unconditional love if all relationships have conditions." What's your take on that?
Ooh, okay. Sorry. Before we do that, um, I do want to talk about that 'cause that's actually really good. But again, just I agree with you, but then I start to go back a little bit. Again, if we're just going off of the if we're going off the definition that Lucas read of entitlement being something that you're owed, sure, I agree with you guys. But if we're also going off of what Carl said is something that you're owed that you haven't earned, then I would go back
I
to saying in a
I
relationship,
wouldn't say I
don't
wouldn't
think
say
you can
that
be
second.
entitled to.
Sorry, Carl. I,
that's not a
that's a no
definition. I
for
think
me, dog.
that's an interpretation of what
Yes,
entitlement
yes,
is.
yes.
Yeah.
Which I correct me if I'm wrong, but are we all on the same page? As that's the type of entitlement that we often refer to? I'm not
I
saying
mean,
right
Yeah,
now. Right now,
there's
when
very
it, I
different
think
types
when
of
it,
entitlement, but yeah.
I think when it's used in a negative tone,
yeah,
people
yeah,
are speaking of when people are overly entitled.
Right.
yeah. Okay,
Yes.
fair.
Um, do you want
Okay,
to call out a bunch of these other comments before we move into talking about what Coagular said?
sure, because I think that's a juicy one. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Emma said, "LOL, what?" in caps when we were talking about how I guess I don't know if this was about the dick thing or not.
It was. It was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Okay. And then Carl's freaking out because basically saying that you guys have the green light to be polyamorous.
We do like me and
Well, yeah,
because I'm gonna say yes. It does seem like that. Yeah.
I mean, you always have the green light to do that, but then they can just end a relationship. So
yeah,
do what you want, girl, but I ain't gonna be here. Kind of splitting hairs, Lee. Fuck you, Carl. No, I'm just kidding. That's not.
fucked.
Yeah. No, I love digging into these kinds of conversations. Split hairs all day, baby.
So yeah, so let's go into this unconditional love then. So based on that there's obviously there again, like we said before, there's underlying technically conditions for why, like, yes, because this person is my child and I want them to have the best life that they can. Like I'm gonna give them what I can, but then again, is that the expectation? And this is what I mean. I was saying in the early years, I think it's important to make sure your kids understand that, or give them the feeling of entitlement to an extent, so that they know to do things for themselves. Because that when you grow up, like you're gonna hit a point where it's like you have to be like fend for yourself, right? Like
Right.
you need to. There's things you need to go like be a go getter and go get the things that you think you're entitled to. I think
Sure.
there's just a line of when you cross it that you then by society are a dick because like, oh, you're so entitled because you want all this shit for yourself. Um, but I think it's really like I'll leave it there so I don't go too off topic from the whole unconditional love thing. But I think ultimately there are unconditional love. Then would just be you love that person no matter what the expectations and I guess the levels of entitlement that you have to provide are. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But I disagree. I do think that.
This guy just flipped this.
No, what I'm saying is like I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with it. Like I do think there are people who, no matter what, you will love, and I'm with Carl on this. Like I think parents and kids, yeah, like no matter what my kid does, I don't even have any, but I could just tell based on how I feel about my nieces and nephews. Yeah, I don't like. I think I'm gonna be in their corner no matter what. And I agree with you in the sense of you want to build that like that go getter attitude and stuff. And those are all ideals, but let's say it doesn't work out. I don't think you're gonna turn your back on them.
No, I'm not. I'm also not saying that like
I hope to God
I'm
you
not
don't.
gonna love my kids unconditionally. Like I'm just pitching from the idea.
But as soon as his kid like shits his pants for the
I
first time, he's like, "Yo, that's a no for me, dog. I don't know. I don't know about that one."
Fuck out of here.
Do you do your laundry? Do you do your own laundry? Like I'm not
Yeah.
washing those pants. You have to wash them.
Every time he comes back from work, he's like, "You didn't even greet me. Where's the trade-off here?"
There's conditions to this.
Exactly.
No, and I definitely believe in I do believe in the concept of unconditional. Like I can understand rather like what that feeling is, because I think I have those feelings towards like my parents. I understand what
Yeah.
they've done for me.
Yeah.
So is that a contradiction of itself? Because like, do I feel that way maybe because I know what they've given up for me? That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
is maybe that then like everyone's take of. I think dogs are the best example. Dogs, I think, unconditionally love. Like, for example,
100%.
like Lily, like
100%.
unconditional. Like I could do no wrong by them. You know what I mean?
Funny that you bring up dogs. My wife to be told me a story a couple of weeks ago. I'm probably gonna miss some of the details. She can correct me if I'm wrong, but she was saying like some crazy guy like took his dog out into a forest. And I don't know if he shot his dog, but he definitely
Oh,
he stabbed his dog like a bunch of times and stuff, and the dog survived. But the dog is still like this just super loving dog that
oh
just
man, that's
wants to
heartbreaking. That makes me so
right.
sad, dude.
It's
I cry.
so
I could cry
sad.
reading that.
Like that is yeah, exactly. That is
Those
so
people are
heartbreaking.
those are the worst kind of people.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the
Fuck
people
those
that
people.
think that to escape a problem is you have to destroy it. It's
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 that's a
like even
problem.
like those
Especially
murder
with
mysteries.
animals, because animals can't do anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Kids
there's
and
no
animals, yeah,
communicate.
like they
Yeah,
didn't ask to be in this.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 That's heartbreaking.
But yeah, I thought that was insane. That like you'd expect some serious trauma, and that dog doesn't trust people at all anymore, and just like snapping at everybody. But no, apparently that dog was just like, love me.
Oh, that stirs such an anger in me. Like, how could
Oh,
you
I
do
agree.
something like that to like some like a pet, or even like when it happens to like kids, like how to someone that like looks up to you like that? Like that's just
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah. Like honestly, like there are times too, like when my own dog, Uncle Phil, the French bulldog, dog got stabbed multiple times and shot in the head. So sad,
That's
so
fucked.
And
sad.
survived.
And survived. Right, that dog's a fucking tank. Like
It's
goddamn,
all the power of love, baby.
it is.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's
it
how
is.
why do you think Cupid can have a bow and arrow and fly?
Yeah.
So
Um,
strong.
but no, what I was saying is like even my dog, like there are times where like he'll annoy the shit out of me. Like there are some times where like he'll get into the bathroom, he'll tear up a bunch of toilet paper, and like I won't even really do anything except for like grab him by the scruff and like throw him in his crate to like show him a little punishment, or like I yell at him and stuff. And like he gives me a look, and I'm just like, yo, you pissed me off, but like
I love you,
fine,
bro.
you're pretty fucking cute. Like like I'm sorry, all right. So like
Yeah.
like to go even further than that is like, god damn. I'll punch
Yeah.
him if he asks for it though.
If he like
Just kidding.
specifically says it,
Like if he
if
says
can
the
speak,
words, yeah,
yeah.
if he says the words, I'll do
Hit me,
it.
bitch.
Yeah, yo, if you sound like that, fuck, night night.
Yeah. What about to go off Carl's point? What about um like how do you think parents of people who are murderers do you still think they have that unconditional love to know that their child has taken away someone else who's unconditionally loved by
I feel
someone
like
else?
it's
I think
part
so.
of that's not is naive though, because when you see a lot of like murder documentaries, it's almost like they're in disbelief that it happened. Like it's almost like no, like my son would never.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
but
that,
then what
right?
if like when the truth and the facts come out that it is like
I don't think it changes anything. Like, cause for example, I put myself in those
Mm.
situations. Let's say one of my nieces did something ridiculous, and having spent the time watching her go from this fucking little potato in a blanket into these,
your daughter or your niece transformed from a potato?
basically,
To bro, potato into a blanket to full size potato
yeah, to
in the backyard.
a whole bag of Lays. No, yeah, like to be this like walking, talking human being. Like I got to watch all that and like love them to death. I'll die for them any day. So let's say 15 years in the future, I hear that they killed someone. I'd be like, okay, even if it's true, I'd be very disappointed. I'd be sad, but like just the thought of them being in prison by themselves, especially assuming they're showing some sort of regret, like I couldn't live with that. Like I'd be worried about them no matter what, even if they did kill somebody. I
Yeah.
just feel like once
It's
they
also
show
because
regret and they're kind of scared, like for me, especially if it's a loved one, fuck, like I can't
it's
just
also
sit.
because they didn't wrong you, right? Like because like everyone in the world's gonna wrong someone in their lifetime, whether
That's
it's a
true.
kid just like
Sure.
like cheating a Yu-Gi-Oh card duel and just being someone like you know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna
Yo,
wrong someone. It's really just if they're wronging you. Like if you're
that's
a
actually
family
a good point.
member and yeah, like you're gonna look past that because you're gonna see all the other good shit.
Yeah, you
So
brought up a good
then
point though. If my kid does bend my Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something, up for adoption
so then would
immediately.
you then say that
Right, Geki, baby.
everyone's entitled to unconditional love?
No, I don't. From specific people.
Yes. In general, just
I don't know that you're
should
entitled to it. I don't know that you're entitled to it. I just think it's something that happens. Like, just say like I deserve your unconditional love seems kind of like a cocky thing to say. But
is it
for me to
to
say
your
you have
parents?
my unconditional love, yeah, like I don't think I'd ever ask that of them. But if they say you have my unconditional love, like I'd be extremely honored and grateful for that.
Oh, there's a very good hypothetical that just came through that we'll touch on in a sec. But
Yeah, let's save it.
so you don't think that you don't think that everyone should get unconditional love from someone? Like, don't you think that might play into why some people are the way they are?
I think it's beneficial. I think there's only great things that come from that, but I don't think you are entitled to it. Like,
What do you have to do to earn that? What do kids do to earn that? That like that you wouldn't naturally do.
yeah, that's a good point.
Oh well, for
I
kids,
get,
I'd say it's
yeah,
because
I'd
that
say,
molds them. Where like some people like
yeah.
you
No,
may feel that
but then
some people may feel that other people are too far gone.
don't
But
you feel that off the gate then you have to you by default have to be entitled to unconditional love?
Off the gate, sure, but could it disappear?
Yeah,
I'd
sure.
say.
I don't think that that takes away from the point that I think everyone the point the question being should every person be entitled to it? I think the answer would
At
be
some
yes.
point or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, well then, yeah, then yes, I would
yes,
agree.
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
every child should be entitled to unconditional love. Yeah, but then is it a condition that they have to be a child? So is it no longer unconditional?
Whoa, that's deep. No, because I think that you should just um
But wouldn't unconditional love kind of be like that
it's
would
weird
never
like how does it
change?
fade? Yeah. How does it
It
just fade
fades off a
then?
condition. You do something wrong, and that's the condition that breaks unconditional love.
Whoa.
So is it really ever unconditional love, or is it
No,
always
because
conditional love? Because any you can
technically
always
it's
destroy someone's
it's
unconditional love by betraying someone in a certain way
by
at
so
all
you're
No,
points
I
in
don't
time.
yeah
know.
no.
I could because
So
I
no, so
honestly.
wait technically
Sorry, go on.
the love is always unconditional because we don't know what the conditions are that cause it to change, but there are
So, oh,
conditions always. We just you may never experience them in your life with the people
Yeah.
you have this relationship with, but technically I guess there are conditions. They maybe you just don't know what they are. Whoa. So then to go back,
mystery conditional love. Fuck.
yeah. So to Luke's point, maybe there isn't really a thing because it's conditional in the sense that like I guess most of the scenarios, like at least reflecting on the ones you have in your life, like I don't know what the condition would be for that to break.
See, still though, still like I mean, we then need to define love at that point. Oh, that's so fucking God. When it came out of my mouth, that's just
Paying
What
for my
is
such a
love?
paying for my
so
sushi bills.
so ashamed I fucking said that.
Yo, when the
No, but like,
server drops off my sushi at a table, I instantly have unconditional love for that server,
yeah,
right? Until they
then
spill water on my shirt when they would go to refill,
there's
and
your
then that
condition.
condition.
Well, there's
Yeah,
your
there you
Perfect
go.
condition.
condition.
Yeah. No,
So
but no, what I was gonna say is like I genuinely believe, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's just me feeling entitled. But I feel like no matter what I like, and I literally mean no matter what, anything under the sun that I do, to some degree or not, my mother's gonna love me. She might be
but
hella
the
disappointed.
problem is you don't know. Like Carl just made
No,
that point. You don't know what you don't know because you don't. Like I understand what
right.
you're
I
saying.
see what you're
I
saying.
can picture that. Like I couldn't picture what I could do to sever relate like so that my mom didn't love me that way anymore. But I'm sure there is something that
I still don't know.
could be done. You
Like
just don't know.
take
You
your
just
minds
don't
to the
know.
darkest places. I could take myself to the darkest place, and I still think, like again, I think my mom would be very disappointed in me. I think there would be more hate than love, but I think there would still be a part of fuck, that's my son, and I do love him to some degree. That's what I'm saying is we need to define what's love, and I think there's going to be some degree of love in it, no matter what, for your own child.
No, but then the fact that it's changed isn't now not. It's no
So are we
longer
saying the
unconditional.
love can't? Are we change at all? Because then in that case, yes, I don't think there's no love at all. If we're saying it can't change,
That's
I definitely think
because
love can change. I definitely
I
think
think
so.
love can change, and I think also if we're taking that into consideration, I know Carl mentioned before that there are conditions in marriage. Um,
Yeah, sickness and health.
I do think yeah. Well, yeah.
No, like that's it. There's no other.
Maybe I'm super naive right now. I don't know. Maybe I haven't, you know, life hasn't kicked my ass enough yet. But I truly do believe, again, no matter what happens with my wife, to be to some degree or not, like even if like I split up and it's a horrible breakup, I think there's always gonna be some degree of love in there where I'm just like, well, I hope you're doing well. Like whether we're talking or not,
Is
like I
that
don't wish death
what?
upon her.
But does that mean you love them? Is that then what the definition of love is? That you just don't want bad things to happen and you care about someone?
Well, I get
That's how you have
looking
to
out for
like.
someone's best interest, like caring for someone, like hoping
Is
someone
that
does well.
love?
I don't, but is it a degree of love? Is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I guess it depends on where it started from.
Yeah, because I do agree that. Sorry, I want to say that I think love and levels of love change. What I mean is, does the term unconditional love means that it never changes, or like unconditional love just changes how it's perceived? You know what I mean? Like that's more what I was saying. Not that love can't. I obviously agree that love, like how you feel and how you love, can change. But in terms of the word or the term unconditional love, wouldn't that be like it never changes no matter what? That's why it's unconditional. So let's say you
I
did
think
your
it just
scenario
means
and
that
you
there's.
said your mom would just
Yeah.
love you differently.
Mm.
Then is that still then unconditional?
I would say, because I would say the
So
emotion of love is still
Coagular
involved.
made a point saying she would love who you were and try to get that person back.
Ooh,
But
fuck.
so
That's good.
they still love you.
Fuck, that's good.
You know what I mean?
That's a great point. That's actually ooh, denial plays a huge part in that then, eh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Carl said the spectrum of love, interesting, from caring about someone a little to banging on the regular.
That's about the best definition.
That's basically love.
That's about it.
Okay, so sorry, Emma also said I think the fact that love can change is a big part of what makes it unconditional. That's actually a very good point too.
Yeah, energy can never be destroyed. It always gets reused, recycled.
Oh,
Love's
easy,
kind of
easy, Einstein. Easy.
E equals MC squared. You know.
You say E.
It's like mini
I was
me.
laughing. I was giggling. You got me so nervous.
Let's go back to this hypothetical then, based on this unconditional love. We kind of went off on a tangent here. This is still around entitlement because everyone's entitled to
we'll pull it back.
Unconditional
we'll pull
love.
it back. Yeah, we'll pull it back.
If you knew your own child would kill you and your wife when they turn 20, what would you do? And would you still love them? Yeah, it's fucked. That's very tough.
Sorry. That when they turn 20, they would kill my wife.
You and your wife. Yeah, your kid.
I wouldn't have a kid.
Do I get to know the details?
No.
Like, do I get to know how?
No. Let's just say it was something you knew was going to happen, and you couldn't.
But I don't know how it's going to happen.
No, and you couldn't change it.
But I just mean, like, for example,
let's say it's intentional. Like, it's not like they were driving a car.
It's not a car. That's what I was just
like
going to say.
Well, at least that's how I'm interpreting this. Is that you know that
they're going to murder you?
Yeah. They're going to murder you.
You see, that's so hard because again, I put myself in the shoes and I think about my nieces and nephews. And if someone told me, "Hey, when they turn 20, they're going to kill you," fuck, it doesn't like.
You're denying it. You're denying there's no way that could happen.
I don't think so. Yeah, maybe. What did I deny?
Oh yeah, he's denying it differently. He's just saying he's calling you out for denying it because you said I don't think so. But,
oh no, that's not. Yeah, well.
Yeah, what a scumbag. But no. There's definitely going to be a level of denial, but at a certain point, if there's ever acceptance, I would just definitely make it so at least they have stuff to pass on. Right? So like,
well, you'd still love them? They knew they're gonna murder.
If I had a kid and I knew like when they turn 20, I'm gonna die. Not necessarily they're gonna they're gonna kill me, but unintentionally.
No,
I would definitely
intentionally. Yes, it's an intentional
like murder.
That's so cool. Like I would
I'd call the cops. I know this is gonna happen.
No, I think when you're in the heat of the moment, there's just so much denial that even though you know it's gonna happen, there's gonna be a certain level of you just like ignorance of you just not accepting it.
You know what I think? What I think a big factor would be is like I think I would love them obviously in the beginning, anyways, because it's a child. How do you not love a fucking child? But I think the hardest part for me is it would break my heart knowing that at some point they're going to go through something.
What if they didn't? What if they're just like, I'm over it. I'm over you being my dad. That's it.
No, well, I mean, fingers crossed. I'm hoping that I'm the type of father where that's not on the table.
Of course.
But
If you ever
I
have a kid,
imagine, like,
as soon as they turn 20, I'm gonna read them. Have a card sent to them that literally says like, "Yo, just turn to your dad and say it's over."
be so scared. Yeah, it's gonna be your fault that I punch my kid square in the nose. Yeah, no, I think that's the thing that would break my heart the most is knowing that at some point, like if I'm looking at this 2-year-old kid who's walking and trying their best to talk, that would kill me to know, well, literally, but would kill me to know that at some point they're going to go through something so dark and traumatic or whatever, maybe they just have a a mental condition, something happens that they think it's necessary to kill me. Like that, I'm not even afraid of dying at that point. It's just like a damn kid, like you're going through something.
I think
you're gonna have
that's
to go
me.
through
It
something.
was me. I think it would be harder for me to understand what I did wrong.
Yeah, that too.
And that's the thing,
That
though.
too.
So you're taking. So we're. So I guess to answer the question, I think I would still love them because I would still try to turn it in a way to like, what did I do wrong? Like maybe
Yeah.
my kid unfortunately is just like the definition of evil, and is just like a bad person, and they just
Sure.
and it's nothing I did wrong or right. It was more
Sure.
just, whatever you want to call that. I just think that I would say I still do love them because I would try to figure out what I did wrong versus just acknowledging that maybe this person is the devil.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good point. That's a
in
great point.
person.
Yeah, the fact that you put your own murder on your own shoulders, I absolutely think that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, you're entitled to it at that point.
Yeah, Carl, this isn't about entitlement. We're on a little bit of a tangent about entitlement of unconditional love.
Open your mind, you jackass.
Yeah, God.
No. Here's the thing. Carl can't say he's entitled to a better podcast and then chime in on the conversation again.
Yeah,
you have to sit
if
there
you think that
You have to sit
way-
there quietly and listen. All
You're
right.
so entitled.
No, he's
Carl.
entitled. Yeah, he's entitled
Go
to
watch
it.
it.
Yeah,
If that's how you feel, go watch a different podcast.
Yeah. No. We need the views. We need the views.